Hey everyone, Andre here with another Wings Mobile Detailing podcast and videocast, as we're also on YouTube. Today we're gonna talk more about on detailing the winter. Winter's coming. We're in the month of November, and Wings Mobile Detailing operates in different locations as a franchise business. Our coldest location that we have is Detroit, Michigan, by Fraser, Michigan. More closely to Fraser, and there it gets even colder than here in Virginia. But the processes, we do have processes and everything that we do for the franchise owners to operate in the winter as well. A lot of people ask, even people sometimes who's usually wanted to know if detailing is a good business in the winter as well, and we have an answer for that. But primarily we're going to go over why is it good in the winter as well, what we do differently, how do we prepare for the winter, and then what do we do differently as well. So stay tuned with that introduction. If you guys are on YouTube, we're just going to continue. So the main thing about the van in the winter that you would be worried about, it's not even about the lack of clients, right? Because we still get clients during the winter. People still want to get their car cleaned, and especially when it snows, after the snow, when there's salt on the road, and people want to get their the salt removed from the car. And you want to get the salt removed from the car because the salt corrodes the paint. Not only does it get the car dirty, really dirty from inside and outside, but it also corrodes the paint, and you want to get the road salt, off the paint ASAP. You don't want to leave it there because the salt's going to corrode through the clear coat of the car. Consequently, it's just going to corrode and consequently eat away the paint job and removing that shine and brightness from the paint and start becoming dull. So salt corrodes, and you don't want that on the car, on the undercarriage of the car, and sometimes even the engine as well. I want to do more of a complete detail. If you're in a place that doesn't snow much, but it's still pretty cold, let's say Virginia. Virginia is a place that doesn't snow much, so there's not much not to worry with the salt. We don't have salt on the road as much, but it does get cold. In that situation, people still want to get their car cleaned. And the services that we recommend for those times is definitely inside and outside, starting with the Premier and just maintaining with the deluxe detail and or monthly subscription. And getting the engine detail, leather always conditioning is very important, as well as exterior, making sure that undercarriage and engine detail is detailed, and the paint as well is waxed. So those are the services that we do. Now, the main issue here is getting your equipment from freezing, because if it's winter, you as an individual, you as a detailer, or your detailers can prepare themselves with warm clothes. We at Wings Mobile Detailing, we actually have a vest as a uniform, not the one I'm wearing right now, but it's a vest as a uniform, so they can wear whatever warm clothes they prefer, heavy jacket, and then they just throw the vest on top, right? So it's better that way in our company because we have our standards. So as an individual, as a detailer, you can prepare yourself to be warm, wear even gloves sometimes, and but the main issue here is keeping the equipments and products from freezing when it's below zero, freezing temperatures, or I would say below 32 Fahrenheit. That's when the freezing point starts. And a problem that you want to fix is keep your equipments and products from freezing. So there's some methods to do that. The methods that we do not do or use is bring the equipment inside. Imagine every day your detailers have the van outside. It's for mobile detailing, so you have the van outside and you want to bring your pressure washer, your products inside. So which products and which equipments that it cannot freeze? And I'm going to cover this real quick. So all the products you want to maintain from freezing. So all the spray bottles, the gallon size products, you want to make sure it's not frozen by the time that you go the next day and detail the cars. And which equipments that you don't want to freeze is the pressure washer and steamer, and water extractor as well if you have water inside. If your pressure washer, power washer, if it freezes inside, the water freezes inside, it's going to break. So you don't want the water to freeze inside the motor of the pressure washer because you're normally still gonna have water there, and when it freezes inside, it becomes really hard and it breaks the internal parts of the motor inside the pressure washer. Second thing is the steamer as well. It does break the steamer if you leave it to freeze, and also the water tank, right? It's not an equipment. Yeah, so the water tank as well, and you have the pumps that we use to pump the water off the water tank. That you don't want it to freeze as well because you're gonna break that pump. Although that pump is it's definitely a lot stronger, but you wanna keep it forever, so you don't wanna need to replace it. Although that does cost about $120. It's not expensive at all. Nor is the steamer. The steamer is less than $200. But those are the main issues. It's not much about the business, the lack of business. The way we do that for the product from not freezing in the winter is we don't bring it inside, and there's no way to really cover the van. We can't leave the van on, all night. Unless it's an electric vehicle, then if you have an electric fan, but then you're wasting the battery. So if in a regular engine van, you can't leave it running all night. So what we do, we put a propane Mr. Buddy heater. Those propane powered heater. It's not an electric heater, but you could use a small electric heater and leave it inside the van. The reason we don't like the propane heater, the electric heater, is because then the detailers, if you have a business running a fleet of vehicles like our franchise owners, their detailers would have to plug it inside their house. So run an extension cord, leave a door or window open of their house in a super cold winter, so that doesn't work. Good thing with the Mr. Buddy heater, and you also would have to buy a big propane tank, a regular propane tank. Not those small ones, but then you get a hose and connect. We have all those videos actually in our Wings Mobile Detailing Academy for franchise owners. But whoever is looking to actually start a mobile detailing franchising to grow their fleet, that's when franchise is recommended for growth, right? Not to be just one van, two vans only. So we use that, a propane tank, leave the heater inside. There's a way to put it inside, but then we leave it on all night. The next day, you don't have to bring anything inside. The next day, the van's going to be not freezing. It's not going to be warm, depending how cold it gets, right? And you want to make sure that you leave the window slightly cracked open, so that all the actual propane will escape, and you don't kill all the oxygen inside the van. And then that's going to make the propane heater, the Mr. Buddy heater, turn off automatically. So that's how we keep the equipment warm. And once you tackle that, detailing in the winter, no problem, no issues. Because then you think, does the client decreases the amount of clients you get during the winter? The answer is yes. Comparing to summer, obviously, of course it does. Decreases, less people want to get their car detailed, but it doesn't stop, right? So you want to be prepared. That's a good thing. It's a great thing. It doesn't stop. People still want to get their car detailed. Problem number 2, which is as difficult as problem number 1, as important solving as the problem number 1 of keeping the equipment from freezing, is why you're doing the detail, right? So you as a detailer can prepare yourself with warm jackets, but if you're out there, if it's below freezing temperatures, then that's when the problems arise of you washing the car without the car turning into an ice box. If it's really below freezing, if it's, let's say, around 26 Fahrenheit, and you spray the pressure washer in the car, the paint of the car is really, really cold, freezing, the water is going to freeze. And don't want that, because then when you go to dry, it's, you know, it's just a frozen, the car is all frozen in the water. So that's what you need to figure out, how to detail the exterior of the car. So first off, if you're still gonna detail the exterior using water in a bucket, in a regular bucket in the soap, we have a bucket heater you can put inside the bucket, and the water in the bucket will be really warm. So when you put your hands inside, obviously it's gonna be, it gets really hot. You know, it gets really warm. It's a bucket heater, but it's controlled. It doesn't boil the water. Obviously, that would be a really big problem. And we try to wash the car in the sun to where it's not freezing, so that we can detail the car. Now, if it's below freezing, super cold, and still need to get the exterior detailed of the car, then we have a waterless method, a rinseless method. It's a solution to really wash the car without using powdered water, without using water, though it is a liquid that cleans up the car, and you have the correct methods using the correct microfiber towels one side. So there are methods to do that. I'm not gonna go over too much in detail, but I'm just talking on about how to solve these problems on a winter, how we handle it, is detailing. So that is a huge thing that we do, is the waterless, rinseless method. Now for the interior, that we get a good amount of interior details from shampooing the seats, the floors, interior of the car. You may think there's not much problem, right? With interior in the winter, you're inside, you know, no need to use water. But the product that you do use, and if you're gonna use the steamer to clean the hard surfaces of the car, the water is going to freeze. If it's really cold, it's gonna freeze on the hard surfaces, and by the time you're wiping right away, the product is already frozen. But there is a way out, an easier way out. Is just while you're detailing the interior of the car, you leave the heater of the car on. So that will solve the problem. Just while you're detailing the interior, when you go to detail the exterior, just turn the car off. We don't want to leave the car on. So that is a really great method to detail the interior. Just do that. That will fix the issue, the problem, and you'll be able to detail the car inside and outside regularly. What you could also do to for yourself as a detailer, get a thick glove, and you definitely want to be wearing gloves and warm clothes. Let me see if we can think of anything else here. For to detail, that would be everything. That would be all. You know, you have sort of equipments. You still have your same equipments. The waterless, rinseless method to detail cars, which one of these YouTube videos we're gonna show you guys on how to do rinseless detail. So subscribe if you guys are not on YouTube or Spotify. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure to subscribe below, and we're gonna go over the exact methods on live actually detailing the vehicle in the winter. So make sure to hit the subscribe button there, and we'll cover more in depth. So thank you. If anybody is interested into looking into this business, the industry is amazing. Starting a franchise for people, specifically for people who wants to start a business, to grow as a corporation, to grow a big business, not mainly be self-employed, then franchise is the way for you, because you're going to leverage and save money while growing faster than if you were on your own. So leveraging from a franchise system that's already proven and growing is definitely the way to go if you're ambitious. Check out also in the description franchise.wingsmobiledetailing.com. So start with franchise, then type .wingsmobiledetailing.com. So that's detailing in the winter. Thank you so much, guys.